Welcome to the Devonport Naval Heritage Centre YouTube channel. In this video we're going to have a look at the Royal William Yard and Stonehouse Creek. In September 1825, on the southern banks of Stonehouse Creek, work started on a new facility for the Royal Navy. The Royal William Victualling Yard was designed by Sir John Rennie and Philip Richards. Named after King William IV, his statue stands proud on top of an impressive gateway. The gateway is constructed of Dartmoor granite and Plymouth limestone, some of which was likely to have come from the West Hoe quarry that was active up until the mid-late 1800s. When it was decided to centralise the victualling provisions in Plymouth, the area that was known as Kreml Point was selected as it offered a great depth of water. It was also close to the Devonport Dockyard and the Royal Naval Hospital. The purchase of land was sanctioned by an Act of Parliament in 1824, with work starting the following year. To the east of the Royal William Yard site, Stonehouse Creek was a tidal waterway that went all the way up to the edges of Ford Park Cemetery. In the late 1800s, the upper part of Stonehouse Creek was filled in from Millbridge to create Victoria Park, named in honour of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. To improve road access from Devonport Dockyard to the Naval Hospital, John Smeaton designed the Stonehouse Bridge, which was a toll bridge that opened in 1773, with a halfpenny toll for pedestrians. Referred to locally as Halfpenny Bridge, even after it became toll-free in 1924. In the early 1970s, the creek from Stonehouse Bridge to Millbrook was reclaimed. Returning to the Royal William Yard, the land on the northern side of Weston Kings, previously known as Kreml Point, was levelled with the material removed used to reclaim 6 acres from the sea and for building materials. The height of the retaining wall at the back of the Royal William Yard will give you some indication of the amount of material that was removed from Devil's Point. The building works continued in the Royal William Yard until the mid-1830s, but the site was in use from 1831. The Royal William Victualling Yard was built to allow victualling activities in Plymouth for the Navy to be centralised in one location, with the buildings dedicated to different activities. The main gate, with its 13-foot high statue, is on the eastern side of the site. The statue is surrounded by carvings illustrating the trades inside, including butcher, baker and cooper. In addition, there are carvings of ox heads and crossed fouled anchors, both symbols of the Naval Victualling Board. After passing through the gates, on the left is the police house. Opposite this, on the right of the gate, is the slaughterhouse. This facility could process 70 to 80 cattle at the same time to produce salt beef. A short tunnel to Firestone Bay was incorporated to allow the provisions to be taken out to ships anchored in Plymouth Sound, and it was through this tunnel that cattle were brought onto the site. Between the tunnel and the police house are 2 residences. Residence 1, closest to the tunnel, was for the superintendent, whilst Residence 2 housed the chief clerk. The first large building is the Mills and Bakery, completed in 1843, and produced bread and ship's biscuits. The mill had 27 steam-powered millstones. On the opposite side of the green from the residence buildings is the new cooperage, which was built in 1899 to replace the original cooperage. In the middle of the site is a basin to allow ships to dock. To the south of the basin is the Melville Block, named after the first Lord of the Admiralty, Lord Melville. This was the second building constructed on the site and was the administrative hub and a warehouse. Above the entrance to the Melville Quadrangle is a clock tower containing the original clock and bell, designed by Benjamin Lewis Villermay, who then went on to draw up the specifications for the clock in the Houses of Parliament. The original plan for the brewhouse was to allow 25,000 gallons of beer to be produced each day, but by 1831 the beer ration was removed and the brewing equipment was never purchased or installed in the brewhouse. The brewhouse would be used for a multitude of roles. In 1885 it was a slaughterhouse. By 1891 it was being used as a store. Then in 1936 an artillery workshop, before being used as a torpedo workshop in 1971. The Mills and Bakery building was made in a U-shape with 2 sets of duplicated equipment in each arm, enabling the capacity to be adjusted to meet demand. The factory cooperage was the original cooperage built to supply barrels, but after the new cooperage was built, the ground floor became a store for artillery equipment and the first floor an armoury. The Clarence building was named after the Duke of Clarence, who would become King William IV, and was used as a store. To the south of the site, on a promontory above the yard, is a reservoir. This was constructed to provide a supply of fresh water. In the northwest corner of the site is a later addition, a Second World War pillbox. It is near this pillbox that the fictional corvette HMS Compass Rose was moored during the filming of the classic British war film The Cruel Sea. Although the ship is supposed to be docked in Greenock, No. 1 covered slip Mutton Cove and Mount Wise can be seen in the background. Royal William Yard was released from the Ministry of Defence in 1992. Between 1999 and 2008, a restoration of the principal buildings was undertaken, and the buildings given Grade 1 listing. Today, the Royal William Yard is a popular area of the city for both locals and visitors, with bars, galleries, homes, retail space and offices. The Devonport Naval Heritage Centre has many artefacts from the history of the Royal William Yard, and we will be supporting the Royal William Yard's 200th anniversary celebrations with some of our collection on display back inside the Victualling Yard. For more information on the Devonport Naval Heritage Centre, our opening times and activities, please visit our website and our Facebook page. Please subscribe to these videos to get updates when a new video is released.